Yes, so very good evening to all of you. Thank you for joining today's session. And I guess we have a newcomer today. So, Kajal, are you joining for the first time today?
Yes, I am joining today first time.
Yes, great. So, first of all, a warm welcome. Thank you for connecting with us, and we are glad you chose this track. So, I just wanted to understand, I just wanted to share with you, Kajal. When Kajal is fine, right? Your name is Kajal Behan. So, Kajal is okay?
Y-
Can we call
Yes,
it you as Kajal?
okay,
Super.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Kajal, basically, whenever anybody joins for the first time, so we have a very simple tradition that we would like to know more about you. So that actually gives us insights about how we can shape our track and how we can go ahead about our session. So what we would like to know about you is where are you from? Currently, and what is your educational qualification? And if you have any work experience, that would also be great. If not there, that's also fine. So, would you like to go ahead? And if anything interesting that you want to share about yourself, that is also we are very keen to listen. So, yeah, over to you.
Okay. My name is Kajal Patel. I am from India. Currently, now I am living in Arizona, USA. And I am a registered nurse, and I have a license from New York board. And I have a total 17 years experience in nursing field and last 10 years in experience in my administration field. In different area like ICCU, cardiac ICCU, and neonatal ICU, pediatric ICU. I have critical depart. I have a experience in many critical departments and
Mhm.
uh, management in that department skill. So now in Guru School, I apply for business analyst. So that's why I'm joining in Guru School.
Sure, sure. No, no, good choice. Yes.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, and we are so glad to see such a seasoned nurse and medical professional. And
Mm.
definitely, Kajal, let me tell you, your this experience of this domain, this medical field, working for last 17 years will definitely help you, in understanding business, so the key to your profile would be you should be looking out for medical projects,
Yes.
medical hospital and that kind of related projects. So really good to know, and we hope to learn a lot from you also. So before we start today's session, let me give you some updates about our session. See, our sessions are very interactive. When I say interactive, that means we as a trainer, myself as trainer, and I have a co-trainer by the name of Gaurav. So we both, while we teach, while we share knowledge, we really want all of you guys to respond, to talk, to ask question, share doubts if you have any. So always feel free to ask if you have any. I would say any confusion, or if you want to get clarity on something, please, you can very well stop us there, or if we are in the flow, we might ask you to wait and we can address it later, or we can even address it right there. Okay. So please, and this is for everyone again, just a quick reminder that our sessions are interactive. So we love to hear from you. We love when you talk and when you ask questions. So that allows us to shape the session further better, like in which direction we should take it. Okay, makes sense. Everybody with me on this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, only two yeses. Others are feeling sleepy, I suppose. Uh, so yes, no worries. Let us start with a very interesting and practical and pretty helpful topic by the name of sprint planning. Okay. Now, Aparna and Kajal, I know you have joined in between, but my simple advice right now for you is just to go with the flow. Generally, the topics are not so dependent on each other, but definitely having some background in earlier sessions would help. So we will share the recordings of previous session on the group shortly. I'll check with the HR if they have uploaded. Otherwise, I'll share the Zoom link. So no worries about that. So if you could go through the links and you can, get yourself up to date on the topics.
Okay.
And don't worry, you don't miss anything. Now, as you're joining from this topic, you are very well, you're rather most welcome or advised to attend this sessions till the next batch starts, and when we reach till this topic. And also, you're very much welcome to repeat this classes in the whenever the next session will next batch will start. Right now this is a new batch already, but don't worry, you have not missed anything. We keep repeating, or we keep going through the same topics over and over and again, so everybody gets covered and they don't miss on any topics. Make sense?
Yeah, Prerna. Thank you. Thank you for the information.
Okay.
Most welcome. Glad I could help. So let us understand sprint planning. Okay. So now, as Kajal is new, and just to give more info to Parna also, sprint is basically a duration. It's a timeline of working on any project. Like, for example, if you're working on a project for 2 weeks, so your sprint is of 2 weeks. If you're working on a project for 4 weeks, so your sprint is of 4 weeks. So basically, it is like for whatever duration you're working on a project, that is your sprint. Everybody clear with the definition or understanding of sprint?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, especially the newcomers. So right now, just try to understand it is a timeline. Okay, that's it. It's a timeline, what we're saying. Okay. Now try to understand what happens in a sprint planning and what is a sprint planning. Okay, it's a very important event. It's a major ceremonies. And yes, in Scrum, in Agile, we have ceremonies. That sounds so nice. This sounds so celebratory, right? So yes, every occasion, every milestone is, I would say, celebrated, is kind of elaborated, and it's called as a ceremony. So sprint planning itself is a ceremony. May I request, three different people to read out the three sentences mentioned on the screen? Anyone? Please go ahead.
Sprint planning is an event in a Scrum framework where the team determines the product backlog item. They will work on the duration that sprint and discuss their initial plan for completing those product backlog items.
Thank you so much, Geeta. So what we are saying that it is definitely an event where a team determines or team decides that which all work item that we have to take, we have to start working from the initial product backlog. Okay, now some new keywords for newcomers. So let me give you a quick brief on that. Product backlog items, as the name suggests, it's a backlog, but doesn't mean that it is having all the items that are pending. Product backlog means all the requirements given for the from the customer. Okay. Now let me give you a very simple example. Sorry. Imagine that you go to your friend's home for their kid's birthday party. Everybody with me? Everybody can hear me? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I would need input from you, because that's why I'm checking. Okay. So imagine you're going to your best friend's daughter's birthday party. Okay. So you go there and you realize that she is still in preparation. I mean, she's not yet ready, and she's still in preparation. So imagine that, okay, I mean, she's baking the cake, she's busy in the kitchen, and there are still decorations to be done in the whatever drawing room or in their house, and they are just working on it. So tell me, in that party preparation, what is the currently pending task that needs to be done as of now? I've just told you. So your friend is cooking, that is taking care of, that you don't have to do. But the what is pending till now?
Decoration.
Decoration. Yeah, absolutely right. So what you start, you take that work, and then it is on priority, right? There might be some other work also, but that is not important because that is not related to party. But decoration is definitely important because you have to get started. You have to do it before the guest arrives, right? So that's why whatever work that is there available and which is urgent, important, that we take it forward. Okay. So in again simple words, imagine product backlog items are like your any birthday party or any event, and there are all these requirements or all these important work mentioned there. So how the work is mentioned in product backlog item, it is mentioned as per priority. So whichever work is like, for example, you want to go to a movie, okay, and you are late. So what would be your priority? Tell me. This is the simplest example that could come to my mind. Okay, you want to go on a movie and you are late. So what is your priority?
What you
Is doing
missed?
makeup your sorry?
What you missed?
No, no, no. You are late and you want to reach there. So you're still on your way. So what would be your priority when you are getting late somewhere to reach on time or to reach as soon as possible, right or not?
Try to speed up.
Yes, very, very well said. So see, it's like you don't want to miss the beginning of the movie. So in that time, tell me, will you wait to take a quick bite, or you will just take a takeaway, or will you stop and you start doing makeup, or will you stop and start doing some other work, or will you just rush to the movie theater to start to watch the movie, right? Yes or no?
Try to rush up.
Yes.
Yes, right? We all do that. So same way, product backlog. I'm giving these examples on purpose to ensure that these examples remain in your memory, and you try whenever you try to think about this concept, these examples pop up and they help you. So what happens is product backlog items is the repository. That's the right word of all the requirements given by the customer, and in that all the most important and urgent requirements are on the top, so we should be working on them at first. Make sense?
Yes.
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 How about Aparna and Kajal, are you able to understand what is a product backlog
Yes,
and
ma'am.
what it has?
Yes.
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 Yeah,
Yes.
Kajal, please call me Prerna. Yeah, we work on first name basis. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, super. So this is done. Anybody wants to read the second paragraph? Please go ahead.
Teams may find it helpful to establish a sprint goal and use that as the basis by which they determine which product backlog items they work on during that sprint.
Okay. Now, as we all know, this is a planning event, right? Like how we plan for a trip, or how we plan for monthly budget, or how we plan for our timetable before the exam, whenever the exam, schedule comes up. We all have done that. Give me yes or no that whenever we were in school and college and a lot more disciplined and sincere about our studies. So whenever we got the exam schedule or exam timetable, did you start preparing your schedule or not? I did. So I'm raising my hand. What about you guys? Did you prepare the schedule or timetable, we used to call it, to complete our portion or complete our studies before exam? Yes
Yes.
or no?
Yes.
Yes. Sure.
Yes.
Yes,
Sure.
because that was the perfect thing to do during those days, and we were genuinely sincere and worried about our grades. Yes,
Yes.
so that's why I always take example of school days, because I know in college or in PG and masters, people have become little careless or carefree. So give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Thank you for waiting, guys. Sorry, that was my baby who just woke up and wanted to see me, so I just took a quick, you know, uh, trip to my bedroom. Yes. So what we were saying that product backlog items have all the requirements for any particular project that we are working on. Okay. Now, typically, when we work for IT industry or rather for any industry from technology point of view, the most, I mean, the form of projects are maybe working on a website or working on a mobile application or working on chat messengers like WhatsApp and Facebook, right? So imagine that kind of a project. So when we have such requirements from the customer for such kind of projects, what do? We plan to work on them. So this is the planning phase. So here, what the team determines that okay, this we for two next 2 weeks for this particular sprint, which item we should work on. So that goes as per client priority. Okay, always remember, though it's our project we are working on, but we are working for client. We are working for the stakeholders. So we always have to acknowledge and we always have to remember their priority. Yes or no? Tell me, guys.
Yes.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. If you have friends coming over at your place and imagine you're a non-vegetarian, but your friends are veg or vegan for that matter. So you would cook vegan or veg food for them, right? Because they're coming over and they're friends and you're catering to them. Though it's a very non-formal occasion, whenever we are working in industry, in professional setup, we are working for the customer, we are working for client, so we have to cater to their requirements and their needs. Okay, so the when we say client, customer is the king or client is the king, that goes true because they are the one who brings us business. Okay, if they like our work, they will give us more work, right? So that's the cycle that continues. So always remember. So our sprint and whenever we decide the work that we have to do for that particular sprint, we also have to plan a sprint goal. When I say sprint goal means for this particular time duration, we will complete this activity and that would be a sprint goal. That means you have to achieve to a functionality that okay, we will complete this work and that is our goal. So generally we have sprint goals to ensure that we complete our planned work, we complete our decided I would say requirement list. So that is it. Like now let me give you an example. Imagine we are working on a website. Everybody here uses Amazon, yes? Is there anyone here who has or who have not used Amazon yet? Amazon.com. Everybody, yes, yes, no,
Yes.
yes. So there is no one who has not worked or used Amazon, right? So Amazon.com, just in my simple words, I just call it that it has everything from pin to piano. Okay, so it has all the items in the world that you could think of. So imagine if you have got a project, something like that on those terms for online shopping or online, uh, you know, I would say purchasing items, and you are working on that kind of website. So, as per your client's requirement, as per your core client's urgency or priority, you would decide the sprint goal. So, imagine you're working on the kids clothing section. Okay, you're working on that development. So what are you working on, that all the kids clothes should be, images should be uploaded on the website. Okay, if a customer wants to come and check a particular or search a particular item by color or by size, by age, whatever, by quality, by cloth material, they should be able to search that. So search function should properly work. Also, if they want to buy something, they should be able to add it to the cart. And once they add it to the cart, they should be able to pay it. So the payment gateway should be incorporated properly. So this is all the technical functionality, right? And this all we are aware of, right? We all search, we all check, we all read the descriptions, we all check the images, we all if we like any products, we add it to the cart, and we make the payment, and when we place an order. So imagine you're working on this, for this entire website, but for this sprint, you are working on this functionality. Then what would be your goal for this sprint? Tell me in your simple words. I hope everybody understood this example.
Um,
So out of the entire website, you're working on this section, this sprint. So what would be your sprint goal?
the sprint coach, it should be a working software, right? So first we'll give the appearance of this screen, I think so. Like the
Okay.
appearance, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it shows the cloth and what are all the items, like a front page. We'll design that one
Mm-hmm.
first.
Okay. Let others also join, then I'll give a final answer to this.
Sure.
Thank you for adding, Geeta. Yeah. Anyone else? What would be your goal? What will be a sprint goal? I just have given you all the details, guys. Come on, anybody wants to add? No? Yes? It is pretty simple. Geeta actually started quite well. So basically, guys, whatever I just said, that is our entire sprint goal. Like starting with the search till the payment, that entire journey should be completed. Because as Geeta rightly mentioned, and thank you so much for mentioning it, that we deliver a working software, right? So working software means whatever we have developed, that should be up and running, and that should give a complete functionality. So when I'm working on a kids in a section development for our website, that means I should be able to do every activity related to the kids clothing. I can search, I can see images, I can add to cart, I can wish list, I can purchase, I can make payment. Everybody with me on this?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, super. So let's go ahead with the third paragraph. Please go ahead, anyone who wants to read.
The purpose of sprint planning is to define what can be delivered in the sprint and how that work will be achieved. Sprint planning is done in collaboration with the whole Scrum team. The what, the product owner describe the objective or goal of the sprint and what backlog items contribute to that goal.
Thank you so much, Jibran, for reading it out. So what are we saying here? Now again, as a team, we have to decide, or we have to confirm that in this upcoming duration, what all we can deliver, right? So in this upcoming duration, like duration of 2 weeks, that is 10 working days, and and if we have planned our sprint goal as the kids section, online, uh, should be up and running. So what all should be the task? So first task should be definitely create a kid section in your website, or upload all the images, add all the description along with the images. Okay, work on the search functionality, write that database query about searching, or ensure that your data is being fetched from the database, all the images are shown properly. then whenever you're adding it to the cart, that functionality should work properly, that you're able to add items to the cart. And even to make payment, you should integrate payment gateways. Like, in India, we have so many UPI methods. So, cash on delivery, net banking. So all these small functionalities, which are part of the total functionality of delivering customers, clothes, kids clothing, should be complete. And what we have mentioned, that as a team, everybody decides, they gives you the feasibility that this can be done or not. But product owner generally is the one who describes about the sprint, and because he or she is the owner of the backlog items that we earlier studied, that earlier, we were discussing all the remaining work items which are there, those are called as backlog items. So those backlog items are managed or are handled only and only by product owner. Okay. Now for the new ones, just remember, product owner is like the senior most person in the team, okay, as of now. So he or she is the one who talks to the customer, who talks to the internal team, and who does all the communication work majorly. So remember from that point of view, okay. So yes, product owner describes the product goal for the particular sprint, and as a team we confirm on that okay, we will be able to deliver this, and we want to work on this, and we will finish this, we will complete this. Everybody with me on this sprint planning? Any doubts in this?
No.
We have given enough amount of time because it's an important topic. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next topic. Yes. Okay. So I think we even yesterday discussed that, why it is fixed length. Remember everyone, why it is why our sprint is of fixed length? Now this question means why our development timing is same. That means if we are uh, developing something in 2 weeks, even for the next sprint it will be 2 weeks. So it's as simple as that. If you are studying, and imagine that all the chapters are of same length and same difficulty level. It's a hypothetical situation, okay, I'm asking you to assume. So imagine if you're studying English, okay, you're studying language, and all the chapters are more or less of same size or same page count or whatever, same understanding. So assuming that if you complete one chapter in 2 hours, assumingly, you will take another 2 hours for the second chapter, next 2 hours for third chapter. Yes or no? This is an assumption, guys. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Will that happen, that though the chapters are of same length and same understanding, you finish one chapter in half an hour and you finish another chapter in 3 hours? Will it work if you study like that, or will it actually happen? Will you be able to complete a chapter in half an hour if it is big and it would require 2 hours? Will you be able to do that?
No.
I mean, honestly speaking, we have done all these things, but now for the understanding purpose, I'm asking. So no, right? Because
Yeah.
you want to give that sufficient amount of time, right? And if something is of similar nature, or if something is of similar, understanding level or complexity level, so we would take same amount of time. So same logic applies here when we say why fixed length and why time boxed. Okay. Let me make this image little bigger for the new joinees to read it. Yes. Is the image more visible to all of you? Or should I enlarge it further?
Uh, I think
I
it's
want
okay.
you to guys to I want you guys to first look at the image, then we can go to the theory. Yes. So guys, this is the image, and this is a very simple yet very practical image. What it says is, here it is mentioned as planning. So we start with sprint planning. We are here right now. Then it goes to implementation, that we actually start working on the project. And from implementation, this curve comes out as a stand-up meeting, as a daily meeting that happens. Okay. From this, we have the next ceremony, or next phase is sprint review. Then we have next phase as sprint retrospective, and everything when it is completed, it goes as delivery or end date. So we start with the planning at start date, we end as per delivery as end date. Okay. And what it is mentioned, fixed length, that means time box of up to a calendar month. Shortly, it means is, sorry, your sprint should be as long as a month, that is 4 weeks. Okay. So this is basically the cycle of development that we are learning. Just wanted to give you a better view. That's why I had enlarged it. Now, may I ask three different people to read out the 3 points mentioned on the screen, please? Go ahead. Anyone?
To balance between the need to release rapidly,
allowing enough time to complete a useful amount of work in each.
Once an appropriate length is found, it typically stays the same.
Thank you so much. So what it says is balance between the need to release rapidly. So that means release rapidly means to complete our work on time and rapidly, or like without any delay. So if we have the same duration, if we have the same duration, we know how much work we can complete. So imagine in first week or first sprint, sorry, we completed roughly say 5 product backlog items. So it's like 10 days we completed 5 items. That means one requirement took 2 days, right? So same way, roughly similar requirements, roughly similar tasks we can complete, because we assume that more or less the complexity or length of that requirement is similar, right? Will it be acceptable if you just finish one requirement in 10 days? Will it be acceptable by the customer, or even with your senior management and your seniors? Tell me, yes or no? Will it be accepted if you finish only one requirement instead of 5?
no,
No,
No.
right?
no,
No,
Mm.
no, because that is the pace we are setting. So, I clearly remember. It is my personal experience. I don't know you have gone through similar experiences or not. When we were kids, typically our parents or elder siblings used to teach us something. Imagine a maths sum or something. Imagine you were like a toddler, or very very young. In primary school. So what they used to give us, they used to teach us, okay, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, and things like that. And then they used to give us some further, equation or summations, and they used to tell us, okay, you finish and I'll come back. Okay, and they used to understand how much time we are taking to finish, and they used to come, after some time. And if you've completed, then fine. But if you did not complete, or you were just stuck on one of the example, they used to get angry. Yes or no? Tell me, especially your parents or mother, whoever is teaching you. Yes or no?
yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Why that was the case? Why they used to get angry if we have not completed?
because we were taking a lot of time to finish the
The
task.
time.
Yes, absolutely right. Because it was first of all they have taught us, and they know that you could solve it or you could do it within this amount of time. Like roughly, if you took 1 minute to finish one sum, okay, like 1 plus 1. Imagine a very young kid. So same way. I mean, why this example? Because even as a development team or as seniors, they're aware, though we do consider the complexities, we do consider the sometimes the abnormalities in the daily action, like somebody might be sick, somebody might have some personal emergencies, or someone might, some complexities might be higher. So that's okay, that keeps happening. But still, we have to have a pace. If we've completed 5 requirements in the earlier sprint, we are expected to complete at least similar. In case there are any exceptions, something is super critical, super tough, and all that, that is fine. We are not saying no to that. But then, I'm sorry, give me a second. Yes. But then, whenever something is usual, normal, we have to continue that in fashion. So see, we also get a rhythm, right? Like, okay, we have completed this work. So imagine if your project has roughly say 100 requirements, okay, just for understanding purpose. If your project has 100 requirement, and if you're completing 10 requirements per sprint, imagine they're simple, smaller, then you have the product, you can have the projection, you can have the future plan that okay, we will complete this project in upcoming 9 sprints. That means in total 10 sprints, assuming 10 requirements in one sprint, I will complete this 100 requirement, right? So that is why the same pace, same duration is important. So we can plan, we can envision our future completion, and we can keep continuing delivering the customer. Yeah. And that's why it says once an appropriate length is found, it typically stays the same. So once we know that, okay, this 2 weeks duration is working fine with us, the sprint is working good, developers have enough time to work on the requirements, testers are able to test it, the database team is able to work on their beds, they're able to have a proper connection, and they're able to pull in data. So everything is working properly, is working fine. And with this duration, everybody is able to finish their work, and we're able to achieve sprint goal. Then definitely that sprint duration stays the same. Yes. Any doubt in this, why it is fixed length, or why we have time box sprint? Yes. Anyone? Any doubt?
No.
No, everybody good?
Mm.
Super. Let me check with Gaurav if he's there. Hi, Gaurav. Would you like to continue?
Yeah, Prerna, just give me a moment.
Sure.
All right. Yeah, I can take it up. You can stop screen
Yeah.
share. I will start.
Sure. Okay.
All right. Okay, so can I consider with all of you that now you have material when I seek some answer for sprint planning. So who can tell something about sprint planning? I mean, you have fair idea what exactly is sprint planning. Who can tell that? Anyone? Anything about sprint planning? Okay, you have learned so far so many things, and I expect at least you will tell me one statement, one word, anything. Or do you want me to ask question?
Sprint planning, according to me, is like based on the requirement, we're trying to design a project, the output of the project in based on each sprint, like 2 weeks time, we're we're building a project. That's what.
Okay. You're building a project sprint wise.
Mhm.
And what happens exactly in sprint planning then?
What all the things we need to do will plan what teams going to handle which one, and
Right.
and
Thank you.
story point. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Swarupa, for attempting it. I believe that you had fair idea well before this class, right?
Uh, sorry, Guru.
Did you have the fair idea about the sprint planning before this class also?
Um, it was the earlier, like 2 years. I don't remember, but when you refreshed everything, I think I got
Kind
some
of.
idea. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Swarupa, for honest answer. Anyone else would like to say something, even though you have heard of Swarupa, that what is your idea on sprint planning? Okay. Aparna, is it by any chance your day one? You are attending for the first time or you are repeating? Aparna Paramati?
It's my first day.
First day. All right. Have you introduced yourself at the beginning?
No, Gaurav, I haven't
Okay.
got a chance.
So let's utilize this quick window from you and Kajal. I believe Kajal's first day as well. Quickly, could you guys introduce yourself as in from where you are connecting and any work experience if you have and your educational background and your purpose behind joining this track. So let's start with you. Let's
Yeah,
start
just
with
to
you.
intervene, Gaurav,
Yeah.
I missed on Aparna. That's my bad. Really sorry,
Okay.
Aparna. And we have gone ahead with Kajal's introduction.
All right, all right.
So
So we'll
yeah,
give
so
the
I think
opportunity to Aparna in this
yeah,
minute.
definitely, Aparna. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, Aparna, go ahead.
Let me see. Hi, my name is Aparna Parmati. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I did my bachelor's in physical therapy. I worked for a while in it, and then we moved to different state, and then I took a break. Presently, I'm working as a teacher in a public school setting, but I want to move to a different field. So I thought of trying on with the Scrum Master training, and I heard about Guru School from few of my friends, so I thought of joining and try out.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much, Aparna, for sharing that. So I believe so far, whatever you have learned, it was quite easy for you to digest and understand, was it?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. I'm glad about it. And let me quickly check with Kajal as well, because it is your day one. So far, you have found it easy to digest everything, whatever we have gone through. Kajal, could you please unmute and say or speak?
No, I have some problem, but I will try my best
Okay,
because
you don't you
I,
don't need to
I
try, Kajal. What you can do is that just don't hold yourself back, interrupt us, and ask the question if you have any. Okay?
because I am in medical profession,
Okay.
so
Okay. You are in medical profession. Are you at work right now?
no, I because I am an H4 dependent visa, but I
Okay.
have a registered nurse license from New York board, so I can work as a registered nurse in New York and any other United States, any
Okay.
other states.
Got it. Got it. And so far, how it is going? Are you able to understand items or few question you have still have? You have?
Yes, I can understand.
Okay, okay, great. Glad to know
Okay.
about it. Okay, so how this goes, Kajal and Aparna, because me and Prerna comes here and we continue with lot many questions. You might have experienced till now that you have been thrown with some question. So I just want you guys to be comfortable. The others like Jubran and Geeta and Swarupa, they are well aware of that. There are multiple questions Gaurav and Prerna ask. So be ready with that, be responsive, be interactive, and this is how we are going to complete the track and today's learning too. All right,
Yeah.
you're good with this,
Yeah.
everyone? Yeah,
Actually,
thank you.
it's making
And
the
thank,
class, it's
yeah,
making the class more interesting.
yes,
Be involved.
yes, obviously, and of
Also,
course.
I come up from a non-IT background, so it's making me get fit into the frame by answering.
Bye. Nice. I'm glad that you are able to accept and adapt with this mode. Thank you so much for sharing that, Aparna. And everyone, thank you so much for your consent, silent consent that okay, you are with me and ready to continue. Thank you so much. We are learning about sprint planning. This is very interesting that we need to know that who is involved in sprint planning. Trust me, there are few ceremonies that few people are limited. In fact, what Scrum says that don't even invite them. Okay, I'll tell you what are those meetings or events where uh, some people are not invited. But you know what? Sprint planning is such an event where every single people involved in the production or involved in the project work are involved and required to attend this meeting, okay, which we call it as a sprint planning meeting. You see here, it mentions here entire time. Can you read, see here the underline? Everyone, just unmute yourself, say yes if you read
Yes.
this. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it says that.
Yeah.
So, so thank you. So what exactly product owner does? So product owner as a senior and authoritative because he looks after the return of on investment for stakeholders in sprint planning meeting. What exactly he does is that he identifies the candidate product backlog items and their relative priorities as well as proposes a sprint goal. Now, before I do that, you guys, so because I have done in one of my session, what I'm going to do is that quickly I'm going to let you go through some items so that you will have the realization what exactly Gaurav is talking about. So for that very reason, let me quickly check if that is open at my end. Then I'll be able to show you what exactly I'm talking about. If it is closed, I'll have to reopen and yeah, so I can, I believe. So let me quickly check. Okay, yeah, I'm doing certain activity and I'm going to reshare my screen for that. All right. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to let you see some items. So a few days ago, we had given you some activity to explore on one of the item or any one of the tool. You all remember that? That we listed you some name of the tools and asked you that you need to work on, choose to explore any one of them.
Ye-
Anyone remember that?
Yes,
Yeah?
correct. Yes, correct.
Yeah. Thank you. And in that mode, what we do is that here I'm going to talk about what we exactly call it sprint backlog. So when we say backlog, it means understand that items are listed and unattended. Okay. So say for example, I'm sharing my screen. So what you see here is one of the tool, okay, on my screen. What exactly happens is that there are multiple items sitting in the backlog. Can you all see that? There are multiple items sitting in the backlog. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
If now sprint planning is starting, I need to identify certain item which I should be able to move from backlog to the planned
Sprint plan.
sprint. Okay. So I can go back and drop it here. Once I drop it here, then I have, because I have recently started the sprint, here, like you see the option to complete the sprint. Likewise, you will have the option to start the sprint. With me so far?
Yeah.
And then the chosen item, you will go ahead and start working on it. Okay. Any questions so far? You understood when I said that? Okay. And this is the Kanban board. We have spoken in the past that there are three columns: to do, in progress, and done. Okay. Do you remember that when we were speaking about multiple frameworks in Agile, then that was the time we have spoken about the Kanban board. You remember that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Now let me quickly check few more filters. I think this is enough for now for you to understand how the backlog shifts into the sprint backlog. Okay, so that was one thing. Sorry, product backlog shifts into the
Sprint.
sprint backlog. All right. Now let me toggle to the one where So product owner identifies the candidate product backlog items and their relative priority, as well as uh, propose a sprint goal. You remember that how it gets proposed if it is identified and to be discussed. So there are multiple items. So before things are chosen to be the part of sprint goal, those items should be very, very much understood well by the participant or the entire team who are involved into the production, involved into the execution of the work. Okay. And there is a window. So generally what happens is that most of the company, what they do, they understand the entire item during the sprint planning. But what smart way says that before even you have this meeting, which meeting?
Sprint planning meeting.
Sprint planning meeting, you understand all the backlog which are to be picked into the sprint backlog. Okay. So problems which are not prioritized initially. Okay. And even they are prioritized, they are not planned yet. Okay. And they are waiting to be worked upon. Those are sitting into product backlog. With me so far? The terminology is called as product backlog, and items sitting in this shelf is called as product backlog items. Okay, with me so far, everyone? Say yes.
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 Yeah. Thank you. Now, the moment few items are prioritized, okay, like customer wants this first, and this first, okay, and now time has come to start execution on them. Okay. So before the execution starts, let's understand who will execute and what they will execute. We had this exercise yesterday as well. Okay. So then what we do, we hold a sprint planning meeting. Which meeting, everyone?
Sprint planning meeting.
Yeah. So in sprint planning meeting, what will product owner do? Product owner does, he picks all these prioritized items into the sprint planning meeting. Okay. And ask the team, now tell me who will work on what. Okay. How long you are going to take. But the key idea is that before you announce how long you are going to take, okay, and whether you have understood these items or not, before even sprint planning meeting, and to avoid to this sprint planning meeting to elongate, few Scrum Master holds a meeting which is unofficial meeting, as is not part of the Scrum guide, is called as this. Any idea what sort of meeting is this?
No idea.
Okay, this is called as backlog refinement meeting or backlog grooming meeting. What it is called as?
Backlog refinement or backlog grooming meeting.
Okay, what happens? Yeah, thank you. What happens in this backlog refinement and backlog grooming? Scrum Master chairs this meeting in presence of business analyst. In presence of what? Of who?
Business analyst.
Business analyst. Every team member will be there. Product owner will be optional, and they make sure to understand every single item which has been taken into sprint planning meeting. Before even a sprint planning meeting, they understand more in detail that what exactly these items are there, and this is the smart way to get the estimates then and there in the backlog refinement meeting, so that if any questions are there and it requires the customer to answer them, they don't need to wait after the sprint planning is done. Is it smart or not smart?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's smart, right?
Yes.
To do such meeting well in advance. Everyone with me so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes, thank you. Now, and this is the advisable approach, guys. Okay, just don't wait for sprint planning, because tomorrow you are going to be Scrum Master and you need to adapt such approach. Okay, so yeah. Now, yeah, we have spoken about product backlog items and their relative priorities. Okay, now I'm going to toggle again into this. Now, whenever you see here, you see the priority has been given. Okay, can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah, this
Yes.
defines the priority of any item. Okay, if we'll go to any project management tool like this, which we call it as a Jira, okay, and if you create some item over there, be it anything like epic or story. What is story? Who can tell me quickly? What is story? If you remember that story or user story, what is that?
It is the task assigned by the product owner.
Yeah, then here there is task as well. So what is user story?
It,
How you would differentiate between task and user story then?
mm, it is a step-by-step process.
Okay. So you remember that when your vision is larger,
Mhm.
okay, when your vision is larger, it's a project, right? Large vision. Okay. I want to see, I want to see the colorful red box, not colorful red box. I want to see um, this computer in every village, in every house. You remember this vision someone was holding decades, multiple decades ago. You remember that vision? Who had such vision? Guys, do you resemble with such vision? Who had such vision? It was a big vision, right? Global vision. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. And who had this vision? To see computer in every household, in every village, in every um, home.
Bill Gates.
Yes, you are right. It was Bill Gates. Okay. But this was really large vision. So did it they start working then and there? No. They first approached to the native country. Okay. Then they went ahead with the nearing country, right?
Mhm.
And gradually, when country is done, then they targeted the some states, counties, right? And then they went ahead in villages or townships, something like that, and societies. With me so far, everyone? Trying to
Yes.
understand how vision was broken. Likewise, when vision is on surface level broken, okay, it is called as product backlog. What they are called as? Product backlog items. When they are sitting and waiting, these items are sitting and waiting to be planned. Till that time, it will be called as product backlog items. However, there's another term to which we call them as epic or feature. What do we call them?
Epic or feature.
Everyone, you need to speak up. Okay, unmute yourself and tell me when vision or large requirement is broken down into the high level of understandable requirement, what it is called as.
Epic.
Product backlog.
You need to speak up. Please speak completely so that you become audible to me. Come on, guys. What it is? When a
Product
large
backlog.
requirement is broken down into the understandable requirement at high level, what it is called as?
Product backlog. Sorry.
Okay,
Epic or features.
epic or feature. Yeah. If it is unplanned yet, then that time it will be called as product backlog item. Okay?
Yeah.
With me so far, everyone? Yeah? Jubran,
Yes,
Swarupa,
yes.
Dave,
Yes, sir.
Kajal,
Yes.
everyone else. Yeah,
Mm.
thank you. Now what happens? This epic is further broken down in more understandable manner. And that is the time it will be called as user story. What it will be called as?
User story.
User story. Okay? And this is resembling to user story. Okay? Got it, guys, everyone? Are you paying attention over here?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. I will only understand when you become responsive. Otherwise, I will have to assume that you are playing some SMS, WhatsApp, or your attention is divided, and tomorrow you can't say that, okay, you did not understand. So please pay very close attention, high focus, very high concentration. Okay. Now, user story is further broken down into multiple subtasks. In multiple what?
Subtasks.
Subtasks. However, in the parallel, user story may also have certain tasks. Okay, in parallel. I'm not telling under it, but in parallel, certain tasks will be there. Say, for example, one user story says that develop a scenario where in the Amazon, all the books can be searched. Now, the coding for such search activity will become the subtask, but having the code review can be the task. With me so far?
Mm.
No, no,
Yeah,
no, Gaurav.
everyone?
Yes.
No, Gaurav.
No? Okay,
No.
I said that. Imagine Amazon has the search product activity. Yes,
Yeah.
module is there. You can search on Amazon. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now Amazon has to search, excuse me for the bad, pictography or bad drawing, but try to understand what I'm saying that. So one feature itself says that search the product or search the book. Okay. So this became the user story. Say, for example, search the book, one user story. In fact, in that, search the product, and inside search the product having the bigger picture, bigger requirement, you further simplify it with the book. Search a search a book, different categories of book. So that becomes the user story. Now, in the user story, to enable this module activity, coders requires to code it. Yes or no? Understood so far?
Yeah.
Yes.
Coder needs to code it, and that coding activity can be created as a subtask under user story. Okay, till now you're good.
Yes.
Yeah, but at the same time, whatever the coder has done, his code also requires to be reviewed by the senior developer, senior coder. Okay, so you created a task out of it, and you say that code review activity. Okay, this code review activity cannot be created as a subtask, but in parallel with the user story, it can be created as task. Do you understand now?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes. Yes, Gaurav.
you see here, there is a task also that is on parallel. Subtasks are always have a parent. Okay, and that parent will be user story. Task will be in parallel. Got it? You're good
Yeah.
with this so far? Yeah. Thank you. Now let's go back over here. Okay. So this time I am really giving lot many data. That's the reason I'm I think I'm going little slower or what. Okay. Now, so you are good till now. Any questions so far, guys? Tell me if you have any question. I'll take this silence as a no. The team members determine how many of the product backlog items they forecast they will be able to complete and determine how they will deliver those product backlog items. You remember that I was telling that it's just not the input is to the sprint backlog, input to product backlog is not just the backlog items turned epic when it will become the part of sprint backlog. Also, they discuss how they are going to deliver this, when they are going to deliver this. Okay, do they identify any dependency? Do they identify any what?
Dependency.
Yeah. And that has to be identified in the same call. If there is a dependency, that has to be flagged, and that has to be notified in the sprint planning meeting itself, because it may happen that some activity which you have picked, before that some another activity requires to be built properly and should be available into the system for your task to start working. With me so far? Yeah, got it
Ye-
what I said?
Yes.
Cool. Now, what happens with here? You understand what happens with product owner. Here you understand what happens with the executor team. Now, Scrum Master. See why we call them. Now, you need to understand very important thing. Very senior member and very good agilist. They get confused this word. Okay, Scrum Master. So, who is our Scrum Master? Scrum Master is a coach. Scrum Master is what?
Coach.
Coach.
He's a coach or she's a coach who coaches the team to practice the Scrum values and principle. Okay, practice what, everyone?
No
Values
Scrum.
and principle.
Scrum values and principle, not just values and principle. Okay, but what if, and Scrum is the framework of what?
The coach.
Scrum is a framework under which mode? Guys, you have learned a lot and you are
Agile.
not answering me. Scrum is framework in what? Okay, so I'll tell you. Have you heard this name ever?
Agile.
Agile. You should be confidently talking. Yeah.
Okay.
Agile. Agile has the multiple framework, right? One of the framework right now we are focusing on Scrum. At the start of the session few days ago, we told you Agile come with multiple frameworks. How many frameworks?
Multiple frameworks.
Multiple frameworks. One of them are XP. One of them are Kanban. One of them are Safe. Okay. Crystal. FDD, many such more frameworks are there. Okay. So because the coach is working and measuring and focusing on the Scrum practices, that's the reason he is called as Scrum Master. What if Agile is adopting these safe Kanban, FDD, Crystal, or safe? What they need to be called as? Will they still be called as Scrum Master? Do you think?
No.
Do you think they should be still called as Scrum Master, guys?
No.
No, they should not be. And there it points as an agile coach. What do we call them?
Agile coach.
Agile coach. Now, what happens is that people get confused between agile coach and scrum master, and they believe that agile coach has to be the senior than scrum master. This is the biggest myth. Scrum master is the coach who enforces the scrum practice. Okay, to in the team, or to help the organization to adopt the scrum practices. However, if scrum is not enforced, but other agile frameworks are, which will be helpful to transform the industry, that is the time this person is called as agile coach. Do you understand the difference, guys, clearly?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you, when it comes, you can actually apply accordingly and answer accordingly. Now, this coach typically facilitates the sprint planning in order to ensure that the discussion is effective and there is agreement to the sprint goal, and that the appropriate product backlog items are included in the sprint backlog. Why appropriate? Because it has to add the value to the increment, because the increment is going to go to whom? Increment is going to go to whom? When I say increment means what?
+1.
Plus one. And plus one means you are delivering a functional item to whom? Whom you are delivering?
To the customer.
To the customer. I only see that Geeta is only involved and answering me. Is only Geeta understanding, or Aparna, Kajal, Jubran, and everyone else, you are understanding too.
Yes, yes. Well,
Yeah, every one of you. I hope, Jubran, you are good. Your throat is good.
yes,
So
yes,
because
yes.
okay, thank you, thank you. Now you were a bit audible. Earlier I thought that okay, okay. Thank you for confirmation. Now, any questions so far in this sprint planning, guys? Say quickly yes or no. Okay,
Gaurav,
I'll take this.
Gaurav,
Yeah,
can
yeah,
you
go ahead,
tell
Aparna.
the difference between a Scrum Master and a Agile um, Coach?
Okay, sure. See, Scrum Master is a master. When I say master means what? Master is who? Master is a coach, right?
Mhm.
The coach who enforces this practice. Practice of what?
Scrum.
Scrum. Okay. Where it he enforces, who encourages for the team and for the organization to follow or inculcate the Scrum practices, Scrum value, and Scrum principles. Okay,
Mhm.
which are the subset of Agile, because Scrum is one of the framework. Okay, and Scrum is the one of the framework of the Agile, and when Scrum, when the leader, a true leader, okay, who ensures that following the Scrum practices is going to benefit to the organization to release the rapid delivery to the customer by adopting the Scrum practices or by applying the Scrum framework, they are called as Scrum Master. However, when Agile enforces any other framework other than Scrum, okay, that time you cannot call them as a Scrum Master because their Scrum is not being practiced. There are other framework being practiced. Okay, say for example, they are following XP, they are following Crystal, they are following FDD, they are following Kanban. However, when the organization who follows Kanban, there you will also hear a word to which we call it as a Kanban practitioner. What you will hear the word?
Kanban practitioner.
Kanban practitioner. But to just differentiate Scrum Master with any other coaches inside the Agile who are using the different framework, to them we differently call them as Agile Coach. We can't call them as a Scrum Master because they are not supposed to follow the Scrum framework. That's number one. Number two is that because they are also agile practitioner, they are agilists. It means they have the option to choose any of the framework. It means by default they have the knowledge of the Scrum activities, Scrum principle, and Scrum value along with the different framework practices. Yes,
Mhm.
Yes.
yeah. So
Yes.
Yeah.
that's the reason any agilist or any Scrum Master can be the Agile Coach. Got it?
Okay.
If they have learned Agile in that manner, if they have followed Agile, only having the Scrum practices and applying the Scrum framework makes them Scrum practitioner or say Scrum Master. If they are enabled to apply any other framework, they cannot become the Agile Coach. They cannot be called as Agile Coach. But if they are performing and understanding the different framework model and they are helping the team or coaching the team to apply all the different framework, they can be called as Agile Coach. Do you get certain clarity, Aparna, on this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Any further question? I'll take this as a no. Let's let's move further. Okay, what it further says. Okay, it further says is this: where does sprint planning take place? Okay, this is very important. So you might be asked, okay, the sprint now. You see this board here? It is mentioned to do here in progress, here in done.
Yeah.
Can you see that? And
Yes.
Yes.
actually, digital board can also be look like this. Okay, a digital board can also be look like this. Can you see here? In fact, here itself,
Yes.
and I can move anything. So earlier it was to do in progress and done. Later, what was done? We added some more lines, more columns, and it is customizable based on the need. You can definitely do that. With me so far, everyone? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the reason I had asked you explore by your own self. But in parallel, good thing is that I'm just telling you how it happens digitally as well. Okay. Coming back to over here. So a good location for sprint planning is the team room so that you have access to all the information about your product backlog and you can refer or you can have the reference and update any information radiator you may use. I am showing you the Jira as a tool. So such tool should be accessible from your sprint planning meeting so that you can update the items then and there. With me so far, everyone? Yes? No?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Gibran.
Yeah.
So if your team is distributed, sprint planning represents a good opportunity to gather everyone together so that your planning discussions can be more effective and to reinforce the person-to-person connection of the team. Say, for example, you have always onshore and offshore team. You will always, what type of team?
Onshore and offshore team.
Onshore and offshore. Say most workforce are, if you are working from Southern Asia or from India, your maximum team is sitting here and they are more or less executor. They will be called as offshore team. People out of India or out of Southern Asia and they are more deputed towards the client. Okay. They say, for example, you guys are sitting in US and you will be called as onshore team from here from India. Okay. and and what exactly happens, because not necessarily it's only USA, Canada and India. There could be other team member who might be sitting in Australia. Okay, there will be few sitting in Singapore, few sitting in the Manila, Philippines, few will be in South Africa, and different time zone, guys. Okay, so you need to make sure to agree upon sprint planning meeting. Either if it is a 4 weeks of meeting, it will definitely go for 8 hours of long meeting. How many hours?
8 hours of
Eight,
long
Eight
meeting.
eight.
hours.
Data.
But to identify that hours so that everyone get become the part of that, your sprint planning can be divided into two sittings. Okay, where everyone can become accessible. That's number one. Okay. However, avoid to stretch it. Still, you can record it and you can share the recording or plan the work accordingly. Okay, if you want to avoid this wait period. Okay, so what exactly happens is that you make sure that every person is involved in this project is going to meet, even they are globally distributed, geographically distributed, they are going to access. And for that very reason, Scrum Master has to make sure that all the web conferencing tools, the room and invites well in advance has been communicated, well equipped, and all the office staffs are there in your service, and those who are required, they have helped you to arrange all items, all the resources what you have asked for to run this sprint planning meeting effectively. Okay, and for that, if you need to book the room well in advance, you can go ahead and you can do that. So these activity you as a Scrum Master has to make sure are there in the place. Okay, you understand about the free prerequisite before arranging the sprint planning meeting, guys? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. So when it takes place, so sprint planning occurs on the first day of the new sprint. So when it takes place,
The first day
First
of.
day. Yeah.
and you remember that I was talking about backlog refinement and backlog grooming call.
Yes.
Yeah. So when it has to happen.
Before the meeting starts.
Yes, before the meeting. In backlog grooming, you don't need to wait for, only current sprint item, but also you can go ahead well in advance and refine the backlog items. With me? Yes?
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. Now, the event should occur after the sprint review. So it means that in the previous meeting, review and retrospective meeting has been done. What is review and retrospective? Who gives the review to your product? Who gives the review to your product? Let me ask this question to those who came for the first time. Aparna, what do you think? Who gives the review to the customer? Sorry, who gives the review to the product?
Product owner.
Okay. But have you recently given any review to any product? Review rating. Have you given any review or rating to any product, Aparna?
Customer.
Customer. So
Yes, you are right. You as a customer have given. It means that in review meeting, who has to be there?
Customer.
Customer. Yes, you are right. So any any review meeting which has taken place where customer has come and given you the review. Do you understand? Who else? Kajal, do you understand sprint review why it happens? Because customer has to come and they have to give the review that how the product looks like. Do you understand it? Yeah?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah. So now what happens is that sprint review is done and customers say, hey, very good job. Go ahead and please deploy it for me. Okay. Now the team will do what? Retrospective. They will contemplate how did they do, uh, was it good, bad, and some correction is required. Okay. So now one sprint is over, you are getting into the second sprint. That's the reason it calls as the previous sprint. So if sprint review and retrospective is done, then only the sprint planning meeting will occur for the next sprint. Uh, and it does not have to occur immediately after those other two events. There could be the gap, okay, of few couple of days. You will find it's based to place a higher priority on scheduling sprint planning when the entire team is available. So who checks the availability of the entire team and run and facilitate this sprint planning meeting?
Scrum Master.
Yes, Geeta, you are right, as Scrum Master. And you may find that it's based to have standing consistent time for sprint planning so that your team can keep that time slot clear from other engagements. So you as a Scrum Master give again the invite for the sprint planning meeting, making sure that all everyone involved is there in the place. Okay. And you check for their availability, you check and confirm the room, location, web conferencing, link, and all, everything else. Okay, as a Scrum Master, there are certain checklists. We are going to look at it later because I just now looked at the time and I found it as done. So let me quickly check with first Aparna, then Kajal, and then we'll go ahead with others. So Aparna, being the day one, how did you find it? Were you able to register, understand, and digest?
Few of the things I could understand, Gaurav, and
Yes.
few things I couldn't because uh, I haven't gone through the previous classes, so I was
Yeah.
missing on points and
Yeah.
other
So
stuff.
I want to share with everyone, thank you so much, Aparna, for sharing that. Guys, the moment you have this in your mind, I have missed something. That mindset will continue to drive you in the current situation. The moment you look at anything as a first user, as a first day first user, you will be able to relate with that. Okay. So in case you think because you have missed something and that's the reason you have not understood, let me break that myth. If you have that feeling that few things you have not understood because of the lingo, the language, the terminology, you might have that feeling. Not because you have missed something. You have
Yeah.
not missed anything. Okay, Aparna?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I could use it to clarify on this myth. So let me hear from Kajal as well. So Kajal, what do you feel like saying? Were you able to understand, relate, connect, and later you can utilize time to remember the lingos as well. Kajal, what do you feel like saying as a
Yes,
day one?
as you Gaurav sir say, terminology it's my problem. So
And rest of the way and rest of the activities, were you able to register, understand, and digest?
no, yes, I can digest, but s- I take some time and
Definitely, definitely.
yes,
And we will provide you recording for that as well. Thank you so much
yes.
for sharing that. I'm glad that you were able to relate as well. Thank you so much. Let me hear from Jubran too. Jubran, what do you feel like saying?
uh, it was great. It was great. Excellent examples. Oh, and I learned that customers are the real foundation of
Yeah.
the
Thank you so
plan.
much, Jabran, for sharing that. Let me hear from Geeta. Geeta, thank you so much for proactive interaction and responses. What do you feel like saying, Geeta?
Thank you. I feel today the takeaway is like the backlog refinement grooming, right? When
Yes.
you become a Scrum Master, we should be smarter to work on the team. So I take that one. And also the Agile Coach and the difference between the Agile Scrum Master and the Agile Coach.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So better you understand what people are there, because sometime when you are
Mhm,
going for interview, because I have come across few gentlemen who are the senior enough
mhm,
and they themselves don't understand the subtle meaning behind it. But the moment logically you
mhm.
register in their mind, they are able to adapt it. But
Sure.
initially, we won't be just coaching them in the interviews or something. So you will
Mhm.
have to be just mindful of it. Yeah,
Sure, sure.
Geeta?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me hear from Dev as well. So, Dev, what has been something new that you think you can share back with us?
It has just solidified my understanding. And also, as I said yesterday, that, in the previous batch, the examples you have given, you tend to give some different examples. So that is good for me. So if the students of this batch, if they also follow the previous recording, that would help them a lot, the way it's helping me right now.
Right, Dave. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm glad that you could share this. So, thank you so much, everyone. We are going to again meet you soon. And guys, so Prerna generally reminds you and me too, be encourage you to whatever you have learned. Just recall this after 24 hours or after this class. Take a note of that in your paper, flaunt it back in a customer facing manner. It means you will switch on your camera mobile and hit the record button and summarize whatever you have learned, because we want you to face the customer, because in whatever the role you are going to go is the customer facing role, strangers facing role, globally distributed people facing role. Okay, and we want you to, Guru Schools want you to conquer such experiences then and there and well beforehand and in the class itself. And that's the reason we encourage you to summarize whatever you have learned in less than 90 seconds of video, or maximum that can go for 3 minutes, and summarize in a way that even 5 years old can understand. And if you could summarize that, you need to understand in that way. And for that, you need to ask lot many questions during the class itself. So ready for it? Are you going to submit such assignment, to which we call it as unsaid assignment?
Yes,
If
Guru.
you can, you will be definitely rewarded with lot of confidence and experience and eagerness to get placed. Okay, with this note, I just wanted to say good night to you all, and we are going to meet again next Sunday. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.